Before you ask, yes, I am currently sick, so if my voice sounds different, that is why. But speaking of things that are sick, look at this new area. I'm not gonna do it today, but I have a lot of exploring to do because this is even bigger than the original Natlan map. Okay, some of it does appear to be ocean, but there's also what looks like an island over there. And this little guy is going to be joining us today in celebration of Genshin Impact officially releasing on Xbox. As with most new things in this game, I haven't actually looked at anything ahead of time. I've not watched any of the trailers, so I don't even know what Chasca does. I'm gonna be figuring that out today. And I know people always hate when you leave the default glider on a character, but honestly, I feel like this one fits her the best. Now, this Chasca is a C0 and is using the Aqua Simulacra for now. She borrowed it from Yelan because I am kind of out of primos. And ironically enough, I don't actually have a lot of the craftable weapons. Otherwise, I would have just used one of those. So to start things off, how does this character even work? We got regular bow shots, you know, that's how bow characters work. Although I see that her explosion has kind of the Natlan-esque animation. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like more color and a bit more geometric shapes. That brings us to the skill. Giant gun. Oh, Genshin Impact. Got it. And we can... Okay. Oh, I understand. I see. We can just ride around on a gun. Now, from reading some of her kit, it seems like we have a basic normal attack here. Obviously, nothing for us to actually hit. Then there's also a charged attack. I still just can't get over the fact that she's riding a flying gun. But if we get near an enemy, it charges up the bullets and then we shoot. Obviously, this is unleveled without any of her passives unlocked as well. I am gonna hop inside of her trial here just to get a better idea of her kit overall. Wait, how do I... Is this how you go? No, I'm not going down. How do I go down? Oh, left control. Okay, I got it. You know, this is like just in time for the holidays. Now you can role play as Santa flying through the sky. So if we just throw up everything at our disposal, just get all that good stuff going, then we can start shooting more colorful bullets, and we kind of just get like rainbow soup, and she can do some decent damage. If I want to build her, obviously I need these, which luckily they kind of show you where they are now. I guess that means that we gotta head north. Now you might be looking at this team and thinking that is a terrible team for Chasca, and you would be right. But my goal for this team is not combat oriented. It is just overworld traversal. If we come to a cliff, we could just skate up the side of it. For little jumps like this, there's actually a number of things that we could do, but we'll just give Kazuha a chance to do something. If we want to get from here to as far as we can, I don't know exactly how far this is going to bring me. I'm also not going to sprint because usually that consumes a lot more of the phlogiston faster. But because we're in Natlan, we could go so far. Look at that. From over there all the way to over here. This is just so weird. I'm not used to this. The speed at which we can travel around this region is crazy. Oh no, is that water? Well, I could fly over it with Chasca, or I could just surf on it with Mualani. And these are just like the first couple characters in this new region. Huh? What is that? Giant bird. What? Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. I was going to make a joke about how I didn't want to fight the Hilichurls and I would just fly over them with Chasca, but I don't even have to worry about it now. So, what we are going to do here is rate on a scale of 1 to 10. How annoying is it to collect this new material, the Withering Purpur Bloom? Because some materials are easy to get, like Valberries, and other ones are not so easy. I'm looking at you, Violet Grass. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize that when you're flying on this, you can hold E to start a plunge attack and then cancel it and go right back to flying. I also got to point out, I'm amazed that our Chasca hasn't somehow died, considering we are in a max world level world and she's running around at level 1. I mean, maybe I'm just crazy, but I think that is a testament to my immense amount of skill in this game. I'm sure that's what we were all just thinking, right? Right, guys? Oh, wait. She's new boss. Ooh, I mean, we're gonna have to check that out because we want to level her up anyways. But I do always like seeing what the new bosses have in terms of mechanics. Oh. Well, I guess I spoke too soon before. Wow. Okay, so about that skill comment, let's just not talk about it. Here we go again. Okay, look at this, right? I'm over here. I need to go over there, but over there it would normally be annoying to get to because you'd have to glide over and then probably climb up a lot. Oh, I messed up. Don't be stupid like me. Press E before you jump off the cliff. And then it's like a 3-second fly over to where you want to be. Can you imagine being a new player with all these characters that have crazy mobility? This would have made the early game exploration so much easier. I believe that I've gotten most of the flowers that we can collect, because there are some more in places like this where I have to do world quests or just world puzzles. And if you know anything about the way that I usually tackle a new region, I will go one statue of 7 at a time, get 100% in an area, and then move on to the next. So I haven't actually been interacting with any chests or puzzles, which kind of hurts, but it's the way that I can make sure I've done absolutely everything there is to do. And since I'm not doing that right now, it's gonna have to wait. Also, I just need to point out, I find it so funny that Chasca's side profile picture here just completely covers her face with hair. Fremine also covers most of his face with hair. And then Farina's is kind of covered as well. But Chasca, it's just like the whole face is just gone. You see more of her ear than you do of her face. For artifacts, we want to use the Obsidian Codex, and I think we want to go attack percent, crit. But the problem I'm running into is that every piece is rolling very poorly. How? How does it know? Any of these stats would have been good. Rolls twice into the flat attack. Yes, thank goodness. I got 29% defense on that one. If nothing else, I have tons of fodder for the Sanctifying Elixir. Okay, this is gonna be a very sad build, but it's at least on the correct set, which means with the buff from the set, we only have 63% crit rate. But that's it's just gonna have to do for now. To be fair, I probably should start farming the artifact domain again anyways. Oh, also, when it comes to her Ascension material here, I would rate this like 8 out of 10 in terms of how easy it is to collect. And that's with a 10 being the easiest. The only way it would be easier is if they spawned in clusters of more than one, meaning like Valberries, you know, it spawns 4 per bush. But they are quite plentiful and quite easy to get. Speaking of things that don't seem quite as easy to get, how do I get to this boss? I see where it is on the map, but it is below me, and I don't know how to get there. So the boss is directly below where we are currently standing. There is a hole over here. I'm gonna go check that out. Logically, this would be the way to get to the boss, and it would seem that I was correct. Since we're in the process of building our Chasca, I do have to bring Raiden as both sub DPS and probably main DPS. But what the heck is this? Excuse me? Tenebrous? I'm gonna butcher it. Tenebrous yeah. Because I know in some languages the double L is like a Y sound. So is it Papilla or is it Papilla? Oh, it transforms into other bosses. I was not familiar with your game. I'm assuming for this we want to do Night Soul stuff anyway, so it's a good thing that we have Chasca here. And that was pretty easy. Ooh, I always love to see free gemstones. And now that I know this thing's mechanics, it's even easier. We do Raiden's skill into Farina setup. Then Benny comes along with his burst into skill. And then for the time being, we just use Raiden's burst. We don't crit because we're just cool like that. We don't need crits. And we would have one-cycled it there. But you know, no crit from Raiden. But surprisingly, even very under-leveled, Chasca still does decent damage sometimes. I say sometimes because all of our buffs were off, so we're not really doing much at this point. But now, we can ascend Chasca again, and not again, because I actually need to farm some more Saurians. But while I was farming Saurians, I realized 2 things. The first thing is, she's ascending into crit rate, which is fantastic considering my build was not looking too hot. So even without the artifact buff, we still have 33% plus 40, so 73% crit rate. And of course, that's gonna go up as we ascend her even more. Then the second thing, which should be obvious, but I still didn't realize it somehow. If you use her in combat like this, and the enemies don't have anything that can hit at range, they just can't hit you while you attack them. So even at low levels, she can still survive quite a bit if the enemy just can't touch her. While I go around collecting some more of these drops, I want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by a little game that some of you may have heard of before. It's called Genshin Impact. And I don't know if you knew, but Genshin Impact just officially launched on Xbox a couple of days ago. So if you do have an Xbox and you log into Genshin Impact from said Xbox, you will be given a free glider for doing so. And Xbox Game Pass members will also receive free primogems every version update. Of course, all of the accounts have cross-save function between Hoyoverse and Microsoft platforms, so you don't have to worry about starting a new account or anything. So now we can ascend Chasca again, bring her up to 70, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we can go further right now. And in terms of talents, I believe that her skill will be the most important because as far as I'm aware, this holds the scaling for her charge shots that we're going to be doing during her skill. And I was able to bring it straight to level 6, which is the highest I could do without ascending her again. If you've ever seen me test damage of a new character before, you know I always come over to these hilichurls. So let's see. Without setting up any sort of buffs, we're just going to go into this state and then use the charged attack. And, I mean, they're dead. There was a lot of numbers there. Yeah, she does kind of just delete them. I think my eyes also just look for large numbers, but she does a lot of like medium-sized numbers. So it's kind of funny because I'll be staring at the numbers trying to see the biggest one that appears on the screen. And I'm like, oh, there wasn't really that big of one. And I go to shoot again and the enemy is already dead. I do want to try to ascend her at least one more time. So I'm going to join into the world of one of my other accounts to go and collect the withering purple blooms. And while I do that, there's something else I want to show you guys. Let's take a little trip back in time to the 1.0 version. Remember this? Remember spawning into the game and this is all you could do? You didn't have a glider at the time. If you see a cliff that you want to climb, all you can really do is be sad and not be able to climb it. Eventually, obviously, you do get the glider pretty early on. But still, if you want to climb this, you really can't. Unless you find the perfectly smooth face and then hold the W key for like 5 to 10 business days. We are slowly getting there. We can do a couple little jumps here like that. And then we made it. And if you wanted to run around the world fast, you would do something like having Jean for double Anemo, Akaya for sprint stamina reduction, and I guess you could do Amber for glider stamina reduction. And look at how fast we're going. It's actually insane. And by that, of course, I mean it is insane how fast we are not really going. Over time, though, the speed movement meta has grown, where we got things like Yelan, we got Sayu, who could just roll around everywhere, and then more passives like this one. And then this little thing happened to the game called Natlan, where now if there's water, well, we could just swim on top of that. If there's a lot of land to cover, we can fly over it, and if there's a mountain to scale, we can skate up the side of it. But now here's the fun thing about Chasca. I've already done a speed team using Mualani just to see how fast we could actually move, but Chasca is already an Anemo character, meaning I can put her on this team and we get Anemo resonance with only 2 characters, so I can get Kazu off the team and bring someone else on to let us move even faster. So I could take something like Diona's passive and put that to use. Then we simply find some enemies to hit where we put up Diona's shield. We also get Jean some particles to give us even more speed. Hop on this and yeah, we kind of zoom. Like, it is actually crazy how fast that can go. I think this is a very long-winded way of simply saying to any new players out there who starts the game with characters like this, I almost envy you. As someone who does like to 100% the new regions, I do wonder how many hours I could have saved if I had characters like this. But I guess that's enough of the back in my day rants. Let's get back to trying to ascend Chasca again. Okie dokie. We are able to ascend Chasca once again, which does give her, I believe, all of the free crit rate that she's going to get from being ascended. I take that back. The last ascension gives her more crit rate. I am just so knowledgeable of this game. It's crazy. And I also do have everything to level up her skill again to level 7. Although, if I once again go out and farm Saurians, which the book doesn't even show me anymore, it looks like I can get that to level 8. I almost feel bad though, because I'm driving these things to extinction at this point. Well, there we go, level 8 skill. And I mean, I haven't done the Spiral Abyss yet this rotation, so why not just try to bring in a brand new character? And then with one of the changes in the most recent update, we don't actually have to do floors 9 and 10. They let us skip straight to 11 and 12. But let's see how our Chasca team is going to perform here. We get in the sky, we start shoot. Oh, wow. Okay, that actually worked. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's pretty good. If that was like floor 9, I would say, well, yeah, that's to be expected. But that was floor 11, and we 2-shot them? Technically 2-shot because it was 2 rounds of her attack. And also, can I just say, fighting one of the flying ruin enemies with a character that's also flying just feels so right. I didn't have Farina's burst up when we entered this floor, so I didn't use that in the rotation. It's pretty much just Benny buffs. We almost took it down. Like, I could use... I guess I should just use Raiden's burst, huh? All right, let me actually just do that. Oh, I missed. I'm genuinely surprised how much damage Chasca was pumping out. Oh, and this time, we have all of our bursts up. So let's see how this goes. Oh, Oh, tanky. Tanky. Oh, wait, not as tanky. Okay, I think I started doing everything too soon, and that's why I wasted some damage. I was a super smooth floor 11. But as we know, floor 12 is where the difficulty just goes exponential. Oh, but the idea of fighting Aeon Blight Drake with a flying character is too tempting to turn down. And I also feel like Chasca just does better in a single target environment, so that's why I'm putting her on the side that has less enemies. I am kind of self-sabotaging by not putting the Aqua Simulacra on Yelan, but we are here to see a Chasca spotlight of sorts. So we're gonna have to hope that Yelan can do her job with a not as effective bow for what she does. Wait a minute, this is so perfect. For fighting this boss, we could just go in the air and not even have to worry about the shock pulses. Oh, we found the perfect counter. And then we have the Aeon Blight Drake. Unfortunately, we don't have any of our we don't have all of our bursts up, and my Farina's ER is not great. So I'm not gonna have the Farina buff right away. We're just gonna see what we can do by shooting. And this just, it's like such a different way of fighting it, and I love it. Then we can go ahead and use all of our buffs and just start unloading on this guy, which of course brings us to floor 12, chamber 3. Very curious to see how this is gonna go, because obviously Farina can't do too much other than buff the rest of the team. But as I stated, her ER is not great, so I have to use Raiden a lot more here. And of course, Mr. Big Man is immune to any of our hydro bullets. Oh, Raiden's also dead, so that doesn't help. This might actually not have been the best team to bring in here. Let's try this again, but this time I'm going to immediately put Farina onto healing mode, because her friends can't do damage anyways. And Bennett, what happened? Normally, I would call it there for Spiral Abyss. Like, I'm not too worried about getting 36 stars every time, but I actually do want to test out another team. Let's see how this does. Bada boom, bada shboom, bada bang. These guys are just so tanky for no reason. Although we did one cycle it. Again, in the moment, it didn't feel like we were doing that much, but it's dead. And also, I don't think that these guys can actually hit me in the sky. That worked way better than I thought it would. And against this enemy, I much prefer Chasca because he does a lot of damage and stuns you, but he just can't touch her. So we are back to chamber 3. Curious to see how this is gonna go. Again, I'm kind of surprised. She's doing this just as fast, if not faster, than the last team we were using. In fact, I think it was faster. Okay, Raiden, this is up to you. Overload, just you get that 36 stars. Yeah, that was definitely a better team setup. Now, to be fair, this is a team of 3 of the best buffers in the game with Chasca, so obviously she'd better perform well with this team. But sometimes I put a character that I think is gonna, carry us in a team of all buffers, and it just doesn't work. So I genuinely am pleasantly surprised. But how can we do against the Arlecchino boss? Oh, we're already in phase 2. I wasn't paying attention. Let's just go ahead, get all of our buffs up, go back into the sky again. Where'd she... Excuse you. No, get back here. I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you yet. Get back down here. Oh, she's immune to all damage up there? Okay, guy, I guess I am done with you. And I have to say, so far, I'm actually really enjoying her playstyle. Like, I know it's very simple. You hop on Skygun and then hold down left click, which I did learn through farming. You don't have to hold this and then re-hold it. You could just keep that button pressed down and it keeps firing. So yes, it seems very simple, and it kind of is simple, but I think the fact that you're just riding around on a flying gun doing pretty good damage makes me want to keep farming to make her even stronger, because like we saw earlier, these artifacts aren't exactly the best. This one has barely any crit. This one's like okay. This is actually decent. Of course, more crit damage would be nice, but it's okay. This is sad. This one's also pretty sad. And considering that this is an off piece, it's not a very good off piece. So I will probably be spending a lot more time in this domain. Because if her performance is already good now, I kind of want to see what it's like when I really invest into her. Oh, and of course, this. This makes it pretty worth it. Just casually flying around Teyvat. No big deal. Just, probably saving a ton of time. And just as a reminder, with Genshin officially now on Xbox, you can get a free glider just by logging in on there. You'll get free primos every version update if you are an Xbox Game Pass member. And of course, you got that good old cross-save function. With that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy, and hopefully my voice is more normal in the next video, or hopefully you didn't even notice. But as always, I will see all of you guys next time.